Yep. Mic check, mic check. So you could just speak and do something for the next minute or two before it.
Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check, mic check. 4, 5, 6. Hey, 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 hey. We are actually, I don't know what this hotel is called or where exactly we are, but I do know that we are at the lobby bar of this hotel, and that a mere 10, 15 minutes ago, Miss Gail King just walked by. And she came from behind me, right? So I was watching Larry and I saw like black people and we were like, okay, black folks. And there was like, she was like greeting or acknowledging us. You know, the black people nod when you're with others. I do appreciate a black person that does the nod, the acknowledgement. And then I'm sure she was like, okay, black people. While we were also like, okay, black people. And then she turned around and I was like, oh my God, is that Gil King? And it was.
Can you see me?
Yes. You are backlit because the sun is right behind you.
Okay, so hit the play button.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so that really just happened. Gail King did just walk by.
Yeah. Super cool. Super cool. And I said, what I need today is food, LA views, beach, and a margarita. So we came here for the margarita.
Drinks are gone.
Good and gone. And because we came here, we had the pleasure of seeing Miss Gail King. And so now, super impressed. I'm like, is Oprah nearby? Because should we just like hang out here for the rest of the day? Is Oprah coming? Maybe. So I told Larry, you have to bring all of your guests that come to LA to this. What is the hotel called? Where are we?
This is former Marine land, so let me just say that to
Okay,
just
he's
bring
gonna
it
get some
down.
of like the history.
Like, yeah, okay, this is the fly spot, but let's bring it down because this used to be Marine land, but this is the Terranea Resort fly spot. Apparently, well, you know, Donald Trump has a property just. Well, he does.
Why would you say?
I
Why?
mean,
can
dude,
we just say the convicted felon?
that dude.
Right? 32 counts. Can we 30
So,
sorry, 34 counts. Can we
yeah.
just like maybe not say the name because
So, that dude.
it brings up something in me that I don't like. I don't like it.
So that's what it is. You know, this is a very beautiful location. The weather is great. This is sunny California. We are enjoying that. And what else? That's about it.
I mean, right now you're just, I think the cameras are on us, but just right over there, that's the ocean.
Yeah.
There's beautiful palm trees. The grounds are immaculately kept. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Absolutely. It's a vibe. And the drinks are good and strong. They know what they're doing in there.
So today's journey took us from Union Station to Olvera Street to, I guess, here. This was the second stop, right?
Palos Verdes. No, because we went like we
Oh,
went on
right,
we
right.
like an unintentional hike, if we can call it that. A walk down some cliffs to the rocky beach. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yep. So
And then we came up here
area-
for the margarita,
Yeah.
and there was more beach. It's kind of like a cove, like where you
Yes.
got that
Yes, exactly.
mountain protection. Yeah, gorgeous. And it's a beautiful day. Absolutely beautiful. California has done something right. I mean, y'all have earthquakes. That might freak me out a little bit, but the weather, wow. Because right now in Texas, I think I said it before, it's, 95, 100 degrees. People are melting. We're not surviving. And as soon as like the plane landed, I was like, it was 60, it was nighttime, but it was 62 degrees. And I was like, yes, this I could do.
So we're pushing it. The battery is probably going to die soon on one of these cameras. So we're just going to say, well, I'm going to say,
Sayonara.
This is Larry Wiggs saying sayonara. Chalgayo. This is iSee109.
And KimmyTravels.
Hey.
You can listen to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.
And I'm going to be on a podcast soon talking about Meteor Man. Apparently, I got some information about that. So that's
Would you
what's
say
next.
Media Man?
Meteor. That's the movie I was in, Meteor Man. when I was
Oh,
12
when
years
he was
old,
young, yeah.
32 years ago.
Wow, wow.
So, kids, remember, whatever happens in your past, it can become your future. I don't know, guys. All right. Peace and blessings from iSee109 and Kimmy Travels. Kimberly is the homie. Kimberly and I met in South Korea around 2014. And after that, coincidentally, we ended up in Peru together. We were traveling. We are travelers. So we ended up in Peru together. And I checked my Facebook account, and that's how I knew she was there because I saw someone else posting from Peru. And I was like, oh, you're here too? She's like, you're here too? Like, yeah. Another friend of ours, Anton Tigo Bates, was in Peru at the same time. So there were three of us in Peru. And so we had dinner together and we chilled and whatnot. After that, Kimberly's a traveler, and she speaks Spanish. So the next country where she lived, not only traveled to, but she lived was Colombia, Medellin, Colombia. And I knew that Kimberly was there from her Facebook post. I have another friend, Kenya. Shout out to Kenya. Kenya was living in Medellin, Colombia at the time as well. So I had two friends who I knew were in Colombia. So I was like, well, they're living there. I know them. They're safe. I'm going to go visit Colombia. So I went. So I met up with Kimberly and Kenya, both in Medellin, Colombia, around 2018, just before 2019, around the new year. After that, Kimberly started her podcast, the KimmyTravels podcast. She contacted me in order for me to be a guest on her podcast, and I said sure. Up until the point, well, yes, up until the point that she contacted me, all of her guests on her podcast previously had been remote guests. So they use Zoom to communicate, you know, but I was her first in studio guest. So Kimberly contacted me and I was like, all right, I'm going to be on your podcast, so I better get my ticket and fly to Texas. And she's like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, in person. I hadn't traveled in a while because it was due to COVID. So, and this was around the COVID thing. So I had to have my vaccinations. I had to do my tests and all that to make sure I was safe for travel. I was. So I ended up flying to Texas, and Kimberly was gracious enough to accommodate my stay, and we recorded the podcast. And thereafter, I told her that she had an open invitation when she comes to Los Angeles. So it's about 2 years removed from the recording of the podcast. Kimberly came to Los Angeles, and I kept my word and promise. I said, when you come to Los Angeles, I got you. And so I had to show her all that Los Angeles has to offer as best I could, as best I can, and as best as I could. And I think we did that. The first stop was to Olvera Street, and we learned a little history about the pobladores, or the founders of the great city of Los Angeles. And after that, we stopped for taquitos at Cielito Lindo. So that was a cool little break. But from there, the goal was to take Kimberly to Palos Verdes to show her the beautiful coastline. And so we went out to Palos Verdes. We chilled out there. And then we went to the Terranea Resort. And the Terranea Resort was pretty awesome because, it's where the rich and famous go to play. So you've got all the style, elegance, and opulence. But then you have access. There's access to that area for the general public. And Kimberly is, we are members of the general public. So even though, people are paying hundreds or if not thousands of dollars to stay there, we were able to get in on the low because I know how to go. I know how to travel. I know how to get in and get out. And there was no problem. There's no problem about that. It's open to the general public. So hopefully, if you come to Los Angeles, if you come to California, you get a chance to go to these beautiful locations because, to be honest, if you live in Los Angeles, oftentimes you don't get to travel very far from your neighborhood, from your little community. But there's a whole world outside there, and it needs to be explored. And that's what it was. So,
I don't understand half of what you guys were talking about.
that's what it was. So Kimberly and I had a beautiful day in Los Angeles. We made our way back to Union Station, and although I wanted her to try some local cuisines from a new or a different location. We ended up returning to the Cielito Lindo. For Kimberly was surprised to learn that gas prices were high in Los Angeles. For not taquitos, but burritos instead. So, Kimberly wanted Mexican food. So, yeah, we got Mexican food. We got the taquitos in the morning, and then in the evening, we got the burritos. So, although, I must be honest, I'm not going back to that taquito. I'm not going back to that spot. Cielito Lindo, man, they cook their food with lard, and the burritos weren't jamming. Like, nah, no, thank you. And then the last time I had those taquitos, ugh, I remember them as being much tastier, much better when I was a kid. Today, these days, ugh. All right, peace and blessings. This is iSee109 narration out. You could do. Hey, Kimberly, welcome to Los Angeles.
Thank you. Thank you for
So-
taking time out to show me around today. I appreciate it.
Wonderful. What are your first impressions of Los Angeles? What have you seen thus far?
Well, I have to say, this isn't my first time here. But the last time I was here was, I believe, 2017. And the time before that, I was in college. So imagine how many years have passed. First of all, the weather is beautiful. Coming from Texas already, we're like burning and melting. It is pretty hot, but like 75 isn't 100. So it's a beautiful city. It's green. There's flowers. There's colors. There's so many different types of people, which is why I'm interested in today's tour, because I arrived on the train from Fullerton.
And what track did you arrive on?
9. Do you want to know what time my train left?
Yeah. What time did
From
your
the
train
station?
leave?
10:18 a.m.
So 10:18. So 10 is 10, and then 18 is 1 plus 8. That's 9. 10, 9.
Right.
Okay.
So I wanted to take the 8:18 train, and Larry's like, take that 10:18.
All right.
So I arrived on track 9. We came out of the station, and immediately you're impacted by the Latino culture. So we went to this placita, and there you have a little bit of the history of the pobladores, and you have black folks, mixed race folks, mulata, mulatto, mestizo, so all different types of people founded this area. So we've just gone down the road, had some of the famous taquitos from Cielito.
Cielito Lindo.
Cielito Lindo. Okay. Delicious. 2 taquitos with their famous salsita, $6.50. No puedo hacer más. Es un buena idea para empezar un día de sightseeing, así, con taquitos.
¿Hablas español?
Ya sabes.
¡Qué increíble! ¿Cómo aprendiste para hablar español?
Bueno, es que viví varios años en países que hablan español, y por eso yo aprendí.
¿Y recuerdas cuando encontrábamos en Perú
Claro.
y otra vez en
En
Colombia?
Colombia,
Sí,
en Nueva York y ahora estamos en Los Ángeles.
sí,
Oh,
excelente.
bueno, y no olvidamos Texas también.
Sí,
Sí, sí,
sí.
sí, por mi podcast.
So, let's see. So the pobladores, the history, and
Yes,
we're at
beautiful,
the.
beautiful, beautiful. We're in like the Casita Avila. This is the first house in Los Angeles, and it's beautiful because you have like, as soon as you walk in, it's shaded, so you have like the temperature immediately cools, and I love that. And it's covered with like vegetation, so you have like la sombra, and then you have the middle open air with all the. I'm guessing these are native plants because they're thriving, not just surviving, in this LA sun. So it's beautiful.
All right.
Vamos a dar una vuelta por la casita. This is the lifestyle of the Californios. Vaya tiempos. Unas plantas. And then looking at it from, oh, there's a sign that says, please do not touch the cactus. And I love it because, you know, people just be doing anything. But you do probably literally need a sign to, like, don't touch the sticky, prickly thing. Hay un animal arriba. Ay, it's a possum. Larry, there's a possum sleeping up here. I'm going to come back and take a photo. And so what I see is like this house that's in the middle of a very busy city. So like just over the rooftop, you see, you know, these big buildings and hotels. So that contrast is also pretty cool. And if you come to this museum, it is free. Avila Adobe. Avila Adobe. Let's go.
Keep looking. Keep looking. You're watching iSee109 in Palos Verdes, baby. Here's your microphone.
Okay.
We're doing it, living it, like, yeah, woo, yeah. All right, so the story goes,
How's the story go?
Kimberly and I, well, for the people watching, Kimberly and I met in South Korea. Members of, shout out to Sha. Sha, you better be watching this. What's going on? Look at us. We're in California, in Palos Verdes, at the beautiful, beach here. So we met at Brothers and Sisters of South Korea, an event
In Daejeon.
I'm
Right?
sure it was Daegu.
Oh shit. Sorry, Daegu.
All right, it was Daegu. Sha
It was one of them days.
It was Daegu 2013, 14. It was the Sam Okiri, Sam, the Ghanaian brother who's lived in Korea all those years and who's a star. He attended that event. So thanks to Sha, thanks to Brothers and Sisters of South Korea, we made connections. Now, Kimberly and I became friends in Korea. Then we were in Peru at the same time.
Coincidentally.
Coincidentally.
Like, this is how it happened because there were 3 of us, Black Americans.
Shout out to
traveling.
Tigo,
Yeah.
Anton Tigo.
Yeah. At the same time, in Peru.
In Cusco.
Yeah. So I think like I posted something and Larry's like, "Wait a minute, are you there now?" I was
Right.
like, "I am." And he had gotten there before me.
Coincidencias. And
Casualidades.
Casualidad.
Eso.
Oh, okay.
Qué casualidad.
Kimberly puede hablar español más mejor que mí, porque tú has aprendido.
Aprendiste. En el pasado.
Aprendiste.
Sí.
Tú aprendiste español en España y viviste en Colombia, en Medellín, ¿no?
Bueno, en Colombia, a ver, yo viví en 3 ciudades.
3 ciudades.
Primero de todo, que todavía tiene mi corazón, es Cali, Santiago de Cali.
¿Viviste en Cali?
Sí.
Cali,
No sabía.
Cali tiene una mayoría de población de
afrocolombianos.
Afrocolombianos.
Sí, 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 sí. Yo soy caleña del alma.
Y so, en Colombia, Bogotá.
Bueno, el trayecto era Cali, Medellín y Bogotá.
Y Bogotá.
Así, casi 3 años ahí. Viviendo, trabajando, disfrutando, gozando la vida, bailando la salsa, haciendo todo, 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 todo.
And let's see. Además, encontrábamos en
Medellín.
El primer vez era fui this is where I don't know.
Like once you
in
get it,
Cusco.
like the conjugations, once you get it, like present, easy, everybody can do it.
Yeah.
And then you start talking about like the past and the subjunctive, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
So all right, so it was Cusco in Peru, Peru, and then
Yeah.
after that, then it was Colombia,
Colombia.
Medellin, and then after that, no other countries, but
In the U.S.
In the US.
We've met like coast to coast.
oh right. First,
In the
it was
US.
Texas, your hometown of Corsicana.
No, I feel like first we were in New York.
No.
No?
Corsicana
Yes.
was first.
Was it?
Yeah, and then New York.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I had during COVID, I built up my website. It was supposed to be a travel blog.
Yep.
And like when you have the initial idea and then like just the creativity takes you this way and that. So my travel blog became a travel podcast. And I was interviewing all of my friends abroad. It's for the diaspora, like encouraging Black folks, not just in America, but like all of us to get out and travel and see the world.
That's what we do. That's why we're out
That's
here.
what we do. That's what I mean. Why not?
And I like to have the little travel, travel tour guide company sort of thingamajig. So if you come to Los Angeles, don't call me.
No, really,
Not
call
unless
him. He'll take you. He'll give you the history.
I try. Nah, but
So I had Larry as a guest, and it was so funny
Right.
because it was during COVID.
This is
so
reciprocity right here.
It is. So they were all, virtual interviews recorded over a streaming platform. And then I asked Larry, like, hey, do you want to be a guest? And he's like, yeah, that would be cool. Like, when? So I gave him some dates. And he was like, all right, I got my ticket booked. And I was like, where are you headed?
She thought this was going to be over Zoom. You know how during the COVID thing, it's a Zoom sort
my
of situation? No, I showed up.
Yeah, he was like, all right, I'm coming.
I hadn't
I always
traveled.
wanted to see Texas. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
I hadn't traveled, so I was like, I need to see something new. Speaking
Yes.
of seeing new places, like last week I was in Seattle, Washington for the first time in my life. So this is once the travel bug, bites you,
You keep going. Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he came to Texas, saw a little bit of the countryside.
Got a
recorded
history
the
lesson.
Yep, because there's a lot of history in these small towns, And I am a defender of the good, right, and just. So while I'm there, I'm stirring the pot. It's my passion, is to fight for, justice, peace and justice. So yeah, he came to Texas, and then I have friends, on East Coast, West Coast, and again, like we just happened to be in New York at the same time. So I guess thanks to social media posting, it's like, hey, I saw where you at? Because I'm
Yep.
here. Where are you? So we met up at the Met, right? That's right. Did a little tour, did some recording.
And then
Larry made a video.
After the Met, then you and the ladies came back to my accommodation, and we were on the roof
Yeah,
for a brief minute, I think.
yeah. Because there was a rooftop vibe,
Yeah.
and then here we are in California.
Yep.
Like 2 years later, like these are like years and years apart. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about where we are right now in Palos Verdes is that you can live your whole life in Los Angeles and you might have an opportunity to come out here, but I wanted to show Kimberly, I wanted to show you all who are watching this, like, yo, if you come to LA, this is what you have to see. This is the experience that you need to have, okay? This peaceful, calm, tranquil, therapeutic experience. This is what it's all about. All right? I don't know. Kimberly might disagree. She might say go shopping at the local mall.
Don't wear your all whites because the dirt is red.
Okay. No.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Now we're here. I don't know what this area is called. I know how to get here or what have you, but we're not far from Terriana Resort. So after this, we're gonna make our way to the Terriana Resort.
Because somebody wants a margarita. Somebody.
So the thing about that place is that it was once like SeaWorld. Like it was a marine attraction, and it was called Marine World.
Okay.
And when I was a kid in elementary school, we had a trip all the way out here.
Field trip. Okay.
Yeah, and it was like it seemed like it was hundreds of miles away, you know.
As a kid, yeah, I can see that.
And in fact, I thought it was even north. We're south. We're in one of the southernmost regions of Los Angeles, in Palos Verdes. It pretty much ends in Palos Verdes.
So we're still in LA County.
Yes, we're in LA County.
Okay.
Right? But when I was a kid, I thought we were moving north on the bus, but we were actually traveling south. So it's like my orientation was completely off, but
you were just happy to be going somewhere.
yeah. So shout out to Luke. This is what I was telling you about, Luke. When you come to Los Angeles, Luke is a friend from South Korea. He's
Okay.
from New Zealand.
Ah.
He was a teacher. I think he might still work in Korea as a teacher, but we worked in the same city. He was the very first friend I made, and his birthday was on 10/9 as well.
Ah, well, look at that. It was destiny. It was destiny then.
So he loves to surf. New Zealanders have this thing about outdoorsy activities and stuff like that. So I told him when he comes to LA, I'll
know
be
where you're
here.
taking him.
This is where you come, Luke. But the gentleman who was surfing earlier, we passed him on the way down here. He was on the way up, and he said, "Nah, it's just a pretty place to paddle.
Right.
There weren't, waves to really surf." And I saw a guy catch a wave over there, but
That was it.
that was it.
Yeah. So you probably can't see like that distance, but there are some paddlers. There's some boats, sailboats.
Yeah.
But it's really quiet, peaceful. If you need a place to disconnect, unwind, meditate, commune with nature, then definitely make your way out here. It's beautiful. Oh, and bring sunscreen and probably a hat. Both of those
Definitely.
things I don't have.
All right, guys. So we're gonna leave you now with these views, and we'll catch up with you at Terriana at the resort. Thanks for watching.